What's up, guys? Welcome back to Frugal BC, and you might be noticing things look a little different. We don't have the restream because we are not using restream. We are using OBS, which is working a lot better. So this is what it's going to look like from now on. Wait, I'm gonna move this camera. I just realized it's a little off. There we go. I like that better. And there's a lot of cool stuff we can do with it. It took me a little while, about a week, to figure all this stuff out, but it is going to be way, way, way better. So I think you guys are going to enjoy the new show, the new look. Shouldn't be too much different. I had heard so much about it being difficult, and I just don't see anything. OBS, like, there's a learning curve, but actually I think it's easier to use than Restream. It takes the setup is actually the difficult part. It actually takes a while to set all this stuff up, and then once you have it set up, it runs so much more smoothly. Now, I do want to say that, like, bringing guests in, that's a whole nother element that I'm gonna have to figure out. But if you can do it right on a computer screen, you can pretty much bring the computer screen into OBS. So we'll be working on that. Meanwhile, here's something else cool I can do. Frugal BC is brought to you by non-fungible domains. Look at that. You gotta look at it right in the corner there. I think that's super cool. I love it. We're brought by non-fungible domains. That is how you get your frugalbc.algo address, which makes it a lot easier, because memorizing those wallet numbers is really, really hard. You pretty much have to copy and paste. You're never going to remember them all. But having a .algo address allows you to substitute that for that in many different situations, especially on stuff on the Algorand blockchain. So it's very helpful. We're also brought to you by TacoCoin. TacoCoin is an ASA built on the Algorand blockchain, and they use TacoCoin to pay for. You can use TacoCoin to pay for a community food truck, a food truck in the community of Iowa, I should say. And there's other online stuff, some DeFi stuff that you can do with it. And I believe you can play poker too. So I learn new stuff about it all the time. So really interesting project, and they are proud sponsors to supporting the Frugal BC channel. But let's see, not much further housekeeping other than I have to say I was pretty shocked by the events in Israel, and I'm not going to delve into that today, other than to say that I was really, really shocked by the stuff that happened, and it's very, very concerning to me. So I'm just going to check the stream because just want to make sure it is actually going and everything is okay. And if you're out there, by the way, feel free to shout out and say hello. Now, I'm kind of surprised because it usually pops out the chat, and it's not, OBS isn't popping out the chat. I can see that I am live. Yep, excellent. Oops, let me just got some likes already too, so that's cool. All right, I just want to make sure it's all functioning and ready to go. Otherwise, now here's the cool part. I really like this. Switching to charts is just this simple, and I can make me go away and come back. I love that. So the cool thing about this is I won't have that thing where I switch tabs and forget to switch the actual thing in Restream, so the window in Restream, so you guys aren't seeing what I'm talking about. Now you can see it. Global crypto market cap is at 1.06 trillion, so a little bit down, but still over that trillion mark. We've seen a little bit of clawback from the gains we had, but we're still up. We still got Bitcoin in the 27,500 range, and remember, we were down quite a bit from that. I think anything below 30,000 is going to prove to be a pretty good buy, but that's just my opinion. That's how I'm looking at it. Fear and greed index is still at about 45. Now, we've seen some stocks lose a little value in response to the stuff that's going on in Israel. So I'm actually a little surprised that we didn't delve into fear range. We're kind of on the low end of neutral, but I actually expected it would be quite a bit lower than that, believe it or not. So everything looks pretty similar. Everything's pretty much down. In fact, if I go in the last day, hardly anything is up, even on the day. This DYDX is the only thing. But the biggest droppers are, we saw Ocean Protocol go down, Chili's quite a bit, and Polygon actually fell a lot, 7%, followed by Conflux and Bitcoin SV. Let's see on the week. Yeah, Trust Wallet on the week went up quite a bit, is still at the 20% range, followed by nobody else is in double digits. Monero's about 3.5%, Render just under 2%. And Pax Gold up just a little bit. Not much for... let's see what's down is Thorchain falling 23%. I believe that was one of the ones that spiked a lot, if I recall right. They're at 60 right now, market cap. Bitcoin SV fell a lot. I remember seeing that one pop too. And ApeCoin, remember ApeCoin was actually competing with Algorand for a while. That one's fallen back to place 82. It is down 16%. So a lot of double-digit drops. PayPay, Arbitrum, Ocean Protocol, Sui. There's actually quite a few in that double-digit drop range, but we don't see Algorand, so we don't see Algorand. So if we go back to market cap, let's just see where some of the coins we follow. Yeah, Hedera's fallen about 8.8, almost 9%, back to 4.5 cents, 4.6 cents. You got to see this one. Near has fallen to 42nd place. It is down to, we're getting to the point where it's going to be below $1. And this is one of the ones we kind of cover. I've had trouble finding news to dive into with Near. I've been focusing a lot on Algorand and HBAR, and then just whatever else happens to pop up. That one's down a lot. Algorand's down only 6.52%, so it's not falling as bad as a lot of the coins. Got to give credit to Algorand there. Yeah, we'll dive in deeper because it is down. I'm going to show you the charts in a second here. Let's see, we got John Echo. Do you have more HBAR or Algo? That's a very good question. I would say Algorand, but most of my Algorand is in Algorand, if that makes sense. My Algorand portfolio is a lot of other projects. A big portion of it is Lofty. In fact, I would say Lofty is probably my biggest asset on Algorand. I do have, and so in terms of like dollar, if you were to measure it in US dollar, then I probably have more HBAR. Catlin, what's going on? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you coming on. And Boosted 2JZ says hello. How are you doing, buddy? Welcome to the show. Good to have you guys on. I'm glad people are watching. We were just about to deep dive into Algorand's charts, and maybe I will pull up sharing the charts, right? Yep. Okay. Now here's how I like to look at these charts, and we can get into my philosophy at some point on chart reading and how useful it is. I like to add the Bollinger Bands, RSI. Now this is rare, you don't see this very much. We are below the Bollinger Band, so oddly enough, we're seeing some very low RSIs. So typically, if you were trading, you can see the green candle starting. Typically in trading, this is what you'd be looking for. Low RSI and at the bottom of the Bollinger Band. You can see we were here and then we popped up a lot. Kind of touched that Bollinger Band, and then we had a run up, but not a very extreme one. So, but what we've seen even here, and these are small trades, these are, you have to trade them probably on chain, and even doing that, you'd have to deal in pretty big amounts, but you can make some short-term trades doing that. But it's hard to do a small experiment because you have to have pretty large money to actually profit from these small trades, because even on the blockchain you'll pay, like Tinyman or something, you'll pay fees. So most of you are probably better off just holding for macro conditions, waiting for the bull run, which is what I mostly advocate for and what I do myself. I played around with trading and I found you can make I was even using like Coinbase One, and you just lose too much. You just lose too much in fees. You have to really spike. Like this one, you probably could. This is like a full 1 cent. You would make money on this trade. If you bought around this at Bollinger Band, you would probably make money. This one, I mean, you could, but it's a smaller differential, and you'd have to put in quite a bit of money. Now, let me see if I can do the same for HBAR. Boosted's a big fan of Coop. I dig that. I'm going to switch back here, and sponsors got a good amount of screen time there. Let me just pull this up. And we can do the same thing for HBAR. Then we can start getting to some news. I got Algorand and HBAR news today, by the way. Oh, come on, you gotta do it. Okay, this will take me a second, I promise. It's good. It's a safety thing, so I'm okay with that. Okay. Those off. Oh, crap. Yeah, sorry guys. It's giving me the email. It's like I have the authenticator device. I have the right password, and you still need me to sign in. And I guess it's good that it's secure, but I don't know. I find that kind of annoying. Especially since I've used this button before. I've used this computer before, not button. Oh, if you make me put in that again. Are you freaking kidding me? Oh, my dog wants to come in anyway. Hold on. Okay, I'm almost there, guys. So just chill with me a second here. We'll be there in a second. I think I can show you guys now. All right, we're here. Here's Coinbase. I don't think it's showing anything. It's just taking a really long time to load. This computer is not the fastest, especially with OBS running, so actually I'm borderline ready to move on to something else because this is getting ridiculous. I just want to see. I'm going to give it a little more time. And by the way, while we're waiting, if you have not hit the like button, I'd very much appreciate it if you'd go ahead and you don't have to smash the like button, just press it gently. And if you're not a subscriber, you can definitely subscribe. Yeah, I get it. Oh, I don't want my email up there. God, seriously. All right, let's see what HBAR is. If you're not subscribed, yeah, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. I always like to have more people. Meanwhile, while that is loading and taking forever. All right, we're gonna skip this today. That's just we gotta find a better way to load that. Let's see what people are saying. By the way, that is my newsletter, frugalbc.substack.com. If you want to sign up for that, it is free, and you'll get a bunch of stuff delivered to your inbox once a week. Otherwise, I leave you alone. We got Everyday Algonaut in the chat saying hello. What's up, Everyday? Welcome back. Johnny Echo said, did you get into Lofty just to be more diversified? Because I figured you could have just profit more by having more algo, right? Well, here's the thing. Yeah, diversification I think is really important because I'm still making money on Lofty during the bear market, and I'm losing money on Algorand. So I think it's good to have steady cash flow, a good avenue of steady cash flow. And there's no guarantee algo will go up. I mean, we hope. We hope it will go up, but there's no guarantee. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. I think it's spiking a little bit. There we go. So always very good, always a good thing to have some form of diversity. I have cash too. I have boring ass index funds, pardon the French. I got everything. So algo, crypto is the fun stuff, and it's also the volatile stuff. So I'm buying right now, but I'm buying algo, I'm buying HBAR, I'm buying Bitcoin, a bunch of other stuff right now. But I also like to have Lofty. Lofty is an excellent project to get exposed to with RWA. Yeah, Boosted, I'm talking long-term gains. I believe the property investment with Lofty would help in the long run, says Boosted. And he likes chips as well. Okay. All right, why don't we go to our first news item. We got some Algorand gaming news, some really cool stuff happening in Algorand gaming. That is most of our Algorand stuff. We're also going to talk about governance, but let's talk about Gunny first. So Gunny is a shooter, I would say a third-person shooter, and they are operating on the Algorand blockchain. Their game is not out yet, but I like their approach. So they recently announced they basically gave away a free NFT for their game. It's called an Anugi, so it's a little critter that'll apparently have some utility in the game. A lot of people asked why it's free, so I like what they had to say here. Oops, I forgot to start recording. Oh, we can record it. I can cut that one out. So Gunny said, many have asked me why it's free. Well, here's the answer. Gunny's goal isn't to do pre-sales and then scam our community by not delivering the game or engaging in a pyramid scheme. Gunny's objective is to provide all users with the opportunity to utilize the Algorand network and reap its benefit through a free-to-play game where they can have fun and win prizes. We are 100% confident that Gunny serves as a gateway for the community for many users from other blockchains and beyond the Web3 world to enter the Algorand network. And today it was proven thanks to the success of our first airdrop. More than 3,000 Inugis were minted in less than 24 hours. Thank you for your unwavering support in making this airdrop a resounding success. And I really like what they had to say here. Here's what someone posted. They got a, never used Algorand for gaming before. I like that. They got a Firestorm. Now I got like a Fox. I got like a blue Fox for mine. I don't think it's free. You can check on Gunny, but I think it's over. I did share it on my Twitter, so if you want to check out BC_Kowalski or frugalbc.algo, you'll find my Twitter account. I share stuff like that in real time when I can. Unfortunately, I didn't know about it ahead of time, or I would have shared it on the screen here. But I really like the way they're doing that. I like the approach. I think that's a really good way to do it. I think we're seeing from gaming projects, there was a kind of a tendency to sell first and build later if we kind of feel like it. I think there's been a lot of games that have kind of taken that. I'm not just saying Algorand. In fact, I think Algorand's been some of the better ones. But there's definitely been an attitude of like, let's make NFTs first, and then maybe there will be a game for it. In fact, I've even seen ones where the NFTs were created in the hopes that a game might get created for it. And first off, I don't think those are good investments. So I don't really put my money in unless I want to play the game itself. I consider that to be an access fee. And I I think what we've seen is it's led to a poor set of incentives. You've seen gaming projects where, and Townstar is a great example. I have some news for that later on in the broadcast, but Townstar is a good example where, you know, the game has never been out of beta. It's never truly functioned as a full-fledged game. It's been pretty close in the early in, you know, kind of early 2022, I think it was pretty close to a full game. And it's been bad since, and they keep selling NFTs even though they don't have the core functionality fixed. So I think we're seeing a shift from that. I think we're really seeing a big shift from that, and I think that's really positive for the space. I'm going to try recording the second part of this. So that's not all. I want to show you what the game actually looks like, by the way. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. We don't have any sound, I don't think. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so I think that looks I really like the look of that game. I think it looks like a lot of fun. Looks a lot like Fortnite, and I think that's a good positive development for the Algorand ecosystem. And I like their approach. I like that they're making a real game that looks like something I would play. So good for them. Keep an eye out for Gunny, because even though I think that mint is over, and you might want to check. I'm not sure. I can't tell because once I go to it, it'll just say your limit is reached. You might want to check that out in case it's still live, but they'll probably be giving away other NFTs coming up because you still need a hero as well to play the game. Okay, so that's Gunny. But that's not all we have, actually, in Algorand gaming news. Cosmic Champs released an update which includes the first reward pool that I've seen, so let's check that out. This is an update that the team gave just recently. By the way, I've learned that you can play this game on desktop. It looks like a mobile game still, but it's you can play it on the desktop. You can play it on Android. It was a native app on Android. And you can play that with Test Flight. You have to download the Test Flight app on iOS. In fact, yeah, Test Flight. Just wanted to double check that. They released a new battle arena. That's kind of what it looks like from the side. You'll see it from the whichever side you're on there. If you don't know what Cosmic Champs is, by the way, it's basically a tower defense game where you have cards that represent characters, NFTs, and then you, as you increase energy, you spend energy on deploying characters, kind of like you might for Magic or Hearthstone. And otherwise, they battle automatically. It's kind of an auto battler a little bit, and your goal is to destroy the other enemy's base, or do as much of that as possible. They apparently have a planet naming contest. They added the Fireball, which I think is kind of cool. Fireball is just direct damage. Now, if you guys played Magic the Gathering, you know fireballs can be considered kind of cheap, kind of cheating in a way. I used to have a Fireball deck, and it was the only way I could beat the kids that could, whose parents would buy them like all the Magic cards, and they had the best decks. But the Fireball was always the equalizer, and they get mad about it. Be like, hey, it's the only way I can compete. Apparently, all the Hammers NFT skins are available now. I don't have enough to really. Oh, and there's new bots too, including a prize bot. So yeah, sometimes you're playing another player, sometimes you're playing a bot. But if you can beat the 1300 player bot, you can actually earn some prize. So they have an allocation of 1,000 algos for the prize bot during the test period until the end of the month. So if you're good at the game, I am not. I'm below 1,200 right now. There's some stuff I just haven't figured out. So that's that. What's next for them? What do they say is next for them? And by the way, we did an Algorand live stream. We played Cosmic Champs, we played Fractal Monsters, and then I played some Town Star just to kind of round it out on Saturday. Just needed a break from the Israel stuff. Oh, they don't really tell you. They just tell you that that's coming up in Discord. Check Discord for updates. Yeah, I like that they're using Medium too, by the way. I like when... I don't think everything should just be on Discord. I find that really annoying when all the news is on Discord and nowhere else. So yeah, shout out to the Cosmic Champs team. They keep building in this bear market. They keep developing. Same thing with Fractal Monsters too. We talked about them last week, and we're seeing... Like I said, we're seeing them focus on actual gameplay and doing a good job with that. So I really appreciate that. Keep up the good work, Cosmic Champs. All right. So that's the... Let's see. And chat went really quiet all of a sudden. By the way, appreciate everyone who is tuned in today, and if you haven't hit the like button already, I'd love it if you would do that, as well as subscribe to our channel so you can see all that stuff. We do have merch down below as well, and a number of things that you can check out in our description for various discounts on different crypto stuff. I am probably going to add Lofty back in. I think they fixed a lot of the bugs that I don't like. I still have my concerns about it, but at least they've done enough that I feel safe. But I'll say that Lofty hasn't worked out as well as I would hope. Right now, I calculated the cash flow is about 4.5% thereabouts. So not as good, and mostly that's just because I have so many properties that aren't paying right now. It's really frustrating. Giovanni, hello, welcome to the show. Welcome here, my friend. And as always, feel free to leave questions in the chat. I will answer them. I usually I do segments because I record the segments, and then so I usually answer the chat between segments. So if you don't hear me answer right away, that's why. But glad everyone was able to tune in. I appreciate it, and let's get to the next topic. I want to talk about Algorand Governance 9. Now, I've given my concerns about governance in the past. I think it's a lot of work for the gain that you get. I think it's a big pain in the butt. I don't believe, unless you have an enormously large amount of Algorand, there's just not much benefit to it, in my opinion. You don't really get a lot of say in the ecosystem, and I just haven't found the questions very compelling either. But there are a number of platforms that offer more passive ways to earn that, and the one I decided to check out is Messina One. So let us take a look at that. Very specifically, I chose to stake 100 algo into their liquid staking. Now, they're saying the reward fee right now is going to be about 10%. Yeah, let's see what they say about that. Oh, that's their fee, I'm sorry. So 10% of the rewards they collect, they will take that. So what happens is you put your algo in, they give you M algo, and you're supposed to be able to go do stuff with that. I haven't found any good pools for M algo yet. But this is what they're projecting, a 41.42% APR. So they've so far got 1.7 over 1.7 million algo staked with ML circulating. Now, let's just see what the benefits are here. Messina liquid staking benefits: interest-bearing asset, stake as little as 10 algos and receive mAlgo liquid staking token, which accrues Algorand governance rewards over time while using an increasing exchange rate. So I think I like the way that works. That's really cool. Unstake mAlgo at any time without waiting for the governance period to end, and receive algo at the prevailing exchange rate to the algo liquid governance pool. I think that's really cool. Convenience: locked algos are automatically restaked every governance period, so users don't have to periodically burn and restake. I like that. So you could just leave them. You could just leave them in there. Utility in DeFi: put your mAlgos tokens to work across DeFi to compound your Algorand governance rewards and earn more yield. And I wish they put, unless I'm missing it, maybe I'll find it today while we're. But I didn't see. I wish they put a list of like, hey, here's all the places that are taking mAlgo. I couldn't find any. Not in the usual ones that I use anyway. Non-custodial open source smart contracts ensure funds are never in the custody of Messina or any other party. Messina One or any other party, ensuring decentralized ecosystem that keeps your algo safe. By the way, you guys like collective algo or singular algo? I think algo is a collective singular in my opinion, but that's just me. Holders of mAlgo will be able to vote in Algorand governance. A snapshot will be taken quarterly to determine eligible voters who are able to vote via the Messina website. Let's see. Here's like a how does it work. I just want to see if there's anything. Where can I stake my algo? We do it here, so. Trying to find something that will minimum maximum here. What about voting? So that was my question. Well, holders of mAlgo will be able to vote in Algorand governance. A snapshot will be taken quarterly to determine eligible voters who will be able to vote via the Messina website. Feature is estimated to launch in December 2023. Any votes that occur before the launch of this Algorand governance voting feature will be delegated to the Messina One executive management team. So basically, they'll open it up so you'll be able to vote, but you won't lose your governance for not voting. You'll just default to them. So that, you could see that as potentially a bad thing. You could see that as being, well, you're giving up this power to Messina and you're not taking it for yourself. But honestly, I think it's better to simply have, I'd rather have that, the default that they vote, and if I lose it, if I don't vote, I don't lose it. I still get my rewards, I just don't vote. And I'm not that big a fan of voting on governance anyway, so I'm totally okay with it. But if you're not, that's something to keep in mind. Now, what about unstaking? You can do it any time. Just be aware that if unstaking occurs before governance rewards are released, the user unstaking will miss out on that yield. So you do have to leave it in there. And, usually 7 days. Yeah, that's accurate. It's usually about 7 days after the period ends. Now, they're going to take a 10% fee. And that comes from the rewards, not from any algo that you stake. Is the APR value displayed correct? The APR is shown estimated based on the Algorand governance reward pool divided by the number of eligible governors and the amount of algo staked. The estimation is updated periodically as governors may become ineligible. In practice, the rewards can be higher as governors become ineligible right up until the distribution of governance rewards. And that's true. The biggest one, that's kind of what I guessed. Like the biggest dip always comes after voting because a number of people just don't vote and they lose access to governance. So that's typically how that works. You will see that probably this time too. I think you're going to see that less and less as more people join platforms like Folks Finance or Messina One. I'm trying out. I just put 100 algo in just to try it out. I just want to see how it works and if it's any good or not, and we will see. But let's see here. Giovanni says 10,000 plus algo is just above 100 algo reward. not sure based on the percentage they were saying. Actually, I think it's going to be better than that, but let me think. 10,000. Well, 1,000 would be 10%. 100 would be 1%, but I think it'll be better than 1%. But we'll see. Because right now they're saying, a 41% APR. Well, that's as if you projected it out the whole year. So this is a quarter of that. But it should be, I think it'll probably drop as more people enter governance, but I don't think it's going to be more than that. And I think they consider this DeFi too. I'm not sure. That's really interesting. But yeah, we're going to try that out. That's our experiment. And we're going to see how much we get off of 100 algos. Like how much off 100 algos. See, now I did it. Now I did the collective singular. We're going to see how that goes. So we'll check that out. All right. Oh, did I miss any? I think other people chatted. Well, Giovanni also said, do you think Saucer Swap's still good? I do. Yeah. So far, it's been going pretty well. I will probably share in about we'll share at the end of the month how it's been going, but I just wish I had started it at the same time as the others just to make a fair comparison. So Everyday Algonaut says, I think it'll be something like 15%. 10% of this you give to Messina. Yep, that's about accurate, and we'll see how it actually turns out. I'm surprised at that 42% number. I don't know where they got that from, but we'll check into that. Well, now it's getting close to the by the way, if you're wondering where I'm reading these all from, this is from my Substack, frugalbc.substack.com. You can sign up for free just by going to frugalbc.substack.com. Link is also in the description, and you can get this stuff ahead of time before I talk about it. Get all my links. Let's see here. So, actually, hold on. So one of the first things I want to talk about is some projects on Hedera. I think there's some really cool Hedera news. And one of them is automatic crypto accounting built on Hedera. Let's take a look at this. So this is from Hedera Inform. I'll read a lot of their tweets. So just in CryptoWorth enables automatic crypto accounting with Hedera. It's secure, compliant, and efficient. Grant Thornton, one of the world's largest assurance and business advisory service providers, is among their customers. So that's a short little bit, but I think that is a really cool use case for the Hedera Hashgraph network. And I think we're going to see more stuff like this. I think you're going to see more of this kind of utility, both from Algorand and from HBAR. They both seem to be having these projects where they're doing something that isn't that exciting from a consumer-facing standpoint, but is really exciting from a blockchain standpoint. And I think a lot of our things are going to follow that theme today. But speaking of consumer facing, I think this project looks really cool that is powered by Hedera. Let's take a look at this thing right here. This is the Metaverse, Meta VRs. I think you still pronounce it Metaverse. 3D interactive experiences on the web for 7 billion devices. So you don't see anything about it, but guess what? One of the projects on Metaverse called Metopia will include its transactions on the Hedera Hashgraph network. And so this is, we're seeing some pretty big brands associated with this Starburst. JP Morgan, MasterCard, Oracle. Samsung, T-Mobile, Microsoft. I don't know what the Mars agency is. Sounds cool though. Next generation engine is here. World's most powerful web-based 3D engine, now supercharged. Works with all operating systems, browsers, and devices. Fully customizable experiences for training, marketing, and more. I don't know. This stuff sounds really, really neat. And hedera is going to be a big part of this. I don't see Metopia mentioned anywhere. Should we look? Should we just see if we can look? Nope, not that Metopia. Nope, I mean this one. So I think this is it. Virtual meetings made fun. I don't know if that's it or not. I don't want to be, I'm not 100% sure that that's it. So let's, we'll hold off on that for a second. But I love that news. I think that's a big deal. And then in the slightly less exciting, but maybe exciting depending on who you are, there's a project that is providing utility to Africa. Let's take a look at this. This is Generation Infinity. Exciting news. The Flutterwave partners with hedera to bring instant, cost-effective payments to Africa. Boosting hedera adoption and driving fintech innovation, CEO TechProd Arc shares the vision for seamless global transactions. Let's take a look at, we can look at this a little more. By the way, I love all the comments. We'll definitely get to all those, so keep them coming. Feel free to make those chats anytime. I'll just read them when I'm done with the segment. Flutterwave and hedera's integration of USDC. World of cryptocurrency is buzzing with excitement as Flutterwave, a leading African payments company, embarks on a groundbreaking partnership with hedera. Well, I don't think the entire world of cryptocurrency is buzzing with excitement, but I do think it's a good thing. Let's put it that way. A little histrionic, but okay. The primary objective of this collaboration is to integrate USDC on hedera, a move that holds immense promise for both companies and the broader crypto industry. Now remember that hedera just released its stablecoin studio. USDC, a stablecoin pegged to the US dollars, gained significant traction in the crypto space for its stability and reliability. Through its partnership, Flutterwave aims to extend the benefits of USDC to its users, offering them access to instant, low-cost payments and remittances. This development is poised to revolutionize the way Africans conduct financial transactions, enhancing the efficiency and affordable of cross-border payments. That is very cool. It's stuff like that, you know, it's not the most exciting. It's not the most exciting stuff, but it is if you care about the future of crypto. And then I think I got one more for you. Oh, well, I just want to talk about the fact that Hello Future launched this weekend, and I'm curious what I've been waiting to see some news from it. My Twitter feed was surprisingly, well, we can imagine what it was filled with this weekend. We had some bigger news going on, but yeah, it's cool that they had that. They had it in California. If I find out about it more in advance next year, maybe I'll actually attend, because there's no way I'm going to Decipher. I just can't, I can't justify going all the way to Barcelona. But if they have Hello Future World here in the States, maybe I'll make the trip. So that's our hedera news for this week. Oops. No, I'm gonna stop the stream instead of stopping the recording. By the way, big news is let's see. Yeah, Everyday Algorand says that Folks Finances also estimates 41% APR. The whales have not opted in yet. Yeah, it'll change a lot. So keep an eye on that number. Oh, big news. Second Big Dex aggregator live, open for devs. The Folks Router SDK is live now. Interesting. And he says also big news is that Voy today did the first distribution of testnet Voy tokens to node runners. I did see that. I was following that a little bit. You know, I try to dive into Voy a little bit. They need a website. I'm going to tell you, I am just sick of everything being on Discord. I hate trying to figure out. It's such a Discord is such a mess. Like, this is something that devs do that they think is a good idea, and they think that counts as communication. But you need just get a Medium account like Cosmic Champs did, and then guess what? You can put your updates, and it's really easy to find. It's all in one place instead of having to go to like 20 different little channel things or sub channels or whatever they call it on Discord. Maybe this is my old man shakes fist at cloud moment, but I can't stand Discord, and I hate that most of the crypto world uses it almost exclusively for their announcements. Nobody's seeing it, okay? Only other computer nerds are seeing it. If you want to get it out to the wider world, you got to put it out in other places. So that's my big problem with Voy, because it's like really hard to find information. The only links I ever find is for Discord. And when I went in Discord, it was just discordant, for lack of a better way to put it. It's a frustrating thing. Got one more for you. But I do think that's cool. I want to have someone on from Voy, because I want someone from Voy to just come on the channel and start from zero and just explain their project. In fact, every day, who do you think would be the best person? Because I see a couple people with Voy handles, and I'm not sure who is like the main person of the project, but give me a suggestion and I'll try to set something up with them, because I would love to just explain it from the ground up, because this is what I think matters. Yeah, I've often said that crypto is at the late 70s, early 80s stage of the personal computer development, where it was mostly for computer geeks that were the only people that were really using it in some business applications. I mean, that's exactly where we are. It's really hard for the average person. You know, I start talking about some of this stuff, and you just see people's eyes glaze over. It's just like if you were talking about if you had to understand the guts of an iPhone to use it, no one would use it. We're at the pre-GUI stage, I think, of crypto, and we need to get past the GUI stage. Yeah, I thought Chris Sweener. Okay, we'll stick with him. I'll reach out to him. I think I'm pretty sure I'm Twitter friends with him. I'll reach out to him and we'll talk. Because like I might be interested in setting up a node, but I have to find the information first. Okay, last one. Now I'm starting to remember to hit record, by the way. You know, I've talked about Townstar and Common Ground Worlds, whatever you want to call it now, and I'm sure some of you may be sick of it, but if you're a Townstar fan, you're probably really annoyed with Townstar. Well, they just did something else really annoying. They've announced what they're going to do with the Townstar node, and it's not good. My good friend Old Man Smithers here has a really good breakdown, and I want to share what he had to say. And in fact, his Twitter description is an old man, his lawn, and a lot of salt. I'm shaking my fist too today. You know, there are times when I wonder if I'm just too harsh on Gala Games, and I've had that thought as well. Sometimes I think maybe I'm too harsh, but what he says next is pretty much usually where I end up going. He says, then they go and do stuff like this, and I remember why my blood pressure spikes every time I see their name. Let's take a look at the newly announced Common Ground World nodes. First, some background. Town nodes were sold by Gala Games at the end of 2021. The first nodes went for around 4,000, the second for 14,000. By the way, he corrected this in a later tweet. It's actually around 10,000 for the first one. So they were pretty expensive, right? This is not something I think most people would, you know, that's like you can almost get a car for that. Well, maybe half a car. I mean, the Mazda 3 that I drive is now you get for about 22,000. I think it was less than that when I bought it. They were originally sold with the promise that they'd host the Townstar game, earn distributions, enable in-game benefits to the owner, and people renting out those benefits. Well, guess what? None of that happened. And why didn't it happen? Because Town Play to Earn ended a little while before. When faced with a failed product and an irate customer base, a reasonable company would cut their losses, offer refunds, and try to maintain some semblance of community trust. I've been talking about this all along. After all, burning your customers inevitably means no more customers. Yes, you have to take care of your customers. Gala Games went another route: ignore the problem and hope it goes away. When people brought up the nodes, they deflect with excuses and promises. You guys are absolutely going to blank yourselves when you realize the impact Townstar nodes have on the whole future of things and what you will likely be able to get from them. This is from August 16th. You will point and laugh at the people who salty sell them because utility is awesome. Who is there anybody pointing and laughing at those Townstar node people who sold them? That was a few weeks ago, by the way, which is an unbelievable thing to say when you sold these nodes and then just completely erased any utility for them. So that wasn't like at the time. That was just recent. That was in August, not that long ago. A month later, the embattled CEO of Gala Games, Alex Schwirmeyer, is known as benefactor. He has not been much of a benefactor, by the way, floated the idea of getting town node owners film or music nodes. I've already posted my response to this hypothetical, which equated to, I don't want compensation in the form of another bag of broken promises. Well, wait, this time it's going to be totally different. Sarcasm detected. During yesterday's Twitch stream, I tried to grab a clip, but it's already been removed. Bitbender told me that an article about town nodes was going to drop that me and my giant pillar of salt would really like. I'll admit I chuckled at the pillar of salt comment. It is pretty funny. With bated breath, me and my pillar of salt waited for the article, constantly refreshing the Gala Games Medium account. By the way, that's a level of dedication I am not going to do. I'll go check it periodically, but I'm not going to do that. Was it an announcement of utility finally being implemented? Nope. Another bag of potentially broken promises. And you kind of put them side by side, but the gist of it is, if you'll notice, there's a ton of will and eventually qualifiers in both statements. It's promises for future utility. The only thing the new announcement is missing that the old one has is a disclaimer, some of this may not work out, which they really should add. Yeah. But you say they warned you in the original that might not happen. True. They'd have shrugged, and if they had shrugged and given refunds, I wouldn't be mad about it. Disappointed, but not mad. Anyway, now they're introducing, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit, Dirt, which is a streak tracking soft token. One criticism that has been leveled is that people felt they have been running their nodes for nothing. Going forward, that will no longer be the case. We'll implement a streak-based node operation mechanism similar to that used in GalaFilm nodes to distribute a database-only tracking counter dedicated exclusively to monitoring and recording the operational status of nodes. The notional tracking counter is called Dirt. That's right, they're literally compensating you with dirt. Just to be clear. Our criticism, let's see, Dirt acts as a testament to a node's reliability and efficiency. By the way, this is a coin with no utility. So he says, see, Gala has moved away from actual tokens lately. Those are tough to handle, requiring smart contracts, transparency, and lawyers. Instead, they've been moving towards soft tokens like beams for Gala Music, popcorn for Gala Film, and now Dirt. Soft tokens are not tokens. They're really not. They're just points held on a database. They've got nothing to do with blockchain that I can tell. Appeared no different from the virtual currency any mainstream game studio has. So very Web3, he says sarcastically. Also notice that nowhere in there do they tell you what Dirt is actually going to be used for, aside from one small sentence that says it will be used to calculate the future distributions on-chain. More promised utility, but at least they used the word chain there. I tracked one Dirt worth of my snarky Web3 comments. And I can't help but think of the of the episode where Dwight Schrute is in charge of the office, and he's talking about Schrute bucks, and Stanley says, "Oh, it's worth about 20 Stanley nickels." You just can't make this stuff up. It's like, do they understand that nobody cares about their worthless pretend token? You guys gotta pay attention when you get involved with projects like this. Keep an eye on stuff. Future promises are not worth the ink they're printed on or the bandwidth they're printed on. Make sure that promise is happening now, and even then be leery. I'm not going to run any nodes for anybody unless there's actual utility that I get something from it. And you're basically paying them to help them run their network, by the way, for nothing, for free. In fact, it's actually probably costing you. It's just another empty bag of promises from Gala, and this is why I generally don't support Gala. I like what I saw from the Champions Arena because at least it came out finished. It wasn't like a half of a game that someday we'll get around to fixing it. So I give them credit for that, but yeah, this stuff with the dirt nodes, it just gets worse and worse. And I think people at Townstar, they just want the game to work. They want the bugs to be fixed, and they want Earn turned back on because it's been almost a year and a half, and it's still not on. Frustrating stuff. Well, that is actually all I have today. I hope everyone enjoyed the live stream. Didn't get as many questions as I thought maybe we would, but that's okay. We're up to 9 likes, so if you guys want to give one more like, it gets us up to a nice even 10. And otherwise, thanks for tuning in today, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in to my first show using OBS, which I really like the way it looks. Looks a lot better than it did with Restream. I don't have that logo in there. It just looks nice and clean, and I was actually able to record some segments right in the app, so I like that. But guys, thanks so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the future.